Good morning, y'all. It is another week at the Hyatt house. I just am getting here early Monday morning, and I think I hear the paint sprayer going already. So let's go inside and see what they're up to. So I just walked in. It's early Monday morning, and we are spraying the stairs. And this is exciting. All right, so we saw it. They are spraying handrails. They got to work quick this morning. Hey, I have got all kinds of samples here. I've got countertops and tile and paint. Two things. One, my tile installer is coming later today, and he and I are gonna finalize quantities, and then I'm gonna go, and I've got a few missing tiles I haven't selected yet. So I'm gonna go and look for tile, and then we're gonna be ready to order it. So it's going to be a hectic week. We've got lots happening, lots of exciting things happening. Here we go. All right, meanwhile, downstairs, I told you we were going to start working on doors. We have set up a door spraying assembly line. We are knocking these out. Hey y'all, I told you it's a tile day. So this morning we met with the tile guy. Now I'm over at Chubby's Carpet. We're not looking at carpet, we're looking at tile. And we have locked in on some stuff, so I'm gonna show you what we got. Hey, we are not going with this West Virginia look, although I like this. This is a tile that I had used before. It is a biscuit finish, just a, biscuit's the color, it's a matte finish. So this kind of inspired the room. Originally, we were gonna do all the bathrooms in this, but that was kind of boring. So we have expanded. We're staying in this family. We're actually doing this color everywhere, but some we're doing matte, some we're doing a semi-gloss, and some we're doing that beveled finish up there. And then we're going with a good old-fashioned hex on the floor. Penny and hex is always the way to go in an old house. So, it's all coming together. We are locking in on all of our bathroom floors that don't have hardwoods and our shower floors. It's a tile day. So while I was busy picking out tile, the guys got a lot done. We have all of our coats on the stair risers and the handrails. We brought the heater in. It's a little chilly, so we're gonna encourage this stuff to dry quicker. We had a few of these little pieces right here that were missing. Oops, I just touched the paint. So what we did was we took off some of the missing ones and replaced them. So we matched like for like. So we used the old ones here so that they match all the way around. And then as we go up, we had to replace all four sides of a few of them so that they all match. Usually I like to do a contrasting color on the handrail, but there just wasn't a color that made sense. And so we are going with our ancient marble on the handrail, on the pickets, on the newel posts. I love it. This window has not been painted yet, and that one has. You can really see the difference. Right here, do you remember we had that cute little breaker box cabinet? That cabinet, you can come on down. That cabinet's gonna go back there. The cabinet's still there. The door's gonna go there. Of course, we've still got our little door for under here. It's looking great. All right, so a lot has happened. We got the mudroom completely sprayed. First coat, we have started spraying all of the trim. So we've gotten the trim painted in the hallway, in Mrs. Hyatt's parlor, in the foyer, a little bit in the kitchen. So we are making our way back. So once we got one coat of paint in here, then little spots that still need some caulk or some love stand out, but that's why we do it. Loving this. We got the beadboard in the wallpaper room painted. We're gonna have to quit calling this the wallpaper room because there's no more wallpaper in here. But I think you can really see here that contrast between the trim and the walls. I love it. What a good day's work. Hey y'all, we're at the Hyatt house. It's a new day and it is an exciting, exciting day because we have hit a major benchmark. The guys are coming today, and we are going to start the first set of sanding on the hardwood floors. I can't wait for you to see this process. We're gonna start on the 3rd floor and work our way down. So as soon as they get here, we're gonna get to work. We are finished with the first pass on the 3rd floor, and I wish that you could smell it. It smells so good. I think I'm in the right industry because I love the smell of freshly sawn or sanded wood. Here we go. So we got to do a little bit around the border. This is that first pass. They were using the big machine first, and then the grittiest paper they can find. And then as they go down, the paper gets finer and finer. I always get this question. If you saw in the video, they were sanding against the grain. And normally you think we sand with the grain. So they actually will sand in 4 directions. The first coat, they will go against the grain. Then they will go diagonally with the grain. And then finish up going with the grain. But my goodness, these floors, I mean, if we didn't touch them again, they're magnificent. I don't know if I'm gonna put a stain on them. If they all looked like this, I would leave them just like they are, but you remember we have 2 different kinds of flooring. So we're gonna have to see how they match color-wise, and we may need to use a little bit of stain, one, other, or both to even them out. But my goodness, look at this. This is one of those 14-inch planks. And they could not be prettier. We've got a little pitting, but that's just character. They're 200. We're close enough to the end of the year. We're going to go ahead and call them 238-year-old boards. This room looks so good. So as you can see, it's the end of the day. We're wrapping up, but they started working their way down the stairs, and they even started in the 2nd bedroom. So it's coming along. It's coming along. It's going to look so good. Of course, the downside is eventually when you sand your floors, you have to sand them. You're going to get dust everywhere. But you still want to paint first. It's going to end up causing a lot of cleanup, but that's okay. We can clean this dust up, but you don't want to take a chance on getting paint on your finished floors, so you always save your sanding for last. That we sprayed the first coat of paint in the mudroom. One thing that we had not done was done any type of trim or molding around the top. These wooden ceilings, so there's not a lot of crown in the house, you know that, but these wooden ceilings didn't quite meet up with our sheetrock. So we added that piece of crown. We'll come back in and paint that. We didn't use a true crown. We just used a 1x because this is a rough wooden room, and a true crown like we used in there would not have been good. Okay, as promised, let's go watch them sand some floors. The 3rd floor is coming along too. Okay, people, so we have a slight predicament. We've sanded the floors. You guys saw the 3rd floor. You've seen this floor. It's so pretty. If I could, I would leave it exactly like it is and not change it at all. but in other places, the floors are not even. So my flooring expert here says that I need to go with a dark stain. I don't want to do a dark stain in here. But we're going to try a few out and see what we can do. We've got two issues. We've got these like rug marks where there have been rugs in the middle of the room forever. That doesn't bother me so much because that's the history of the house. But where repairs have been done, and you can see where these are all feathered in, doesn't look great. So we got to figure out what's the best thing to do. Okay, this is not it. We started with a, I think that's a special walnut. It was just way too dark. So then we tried this English chestnut, which it's not ugly. But then we put it over here and it's just not what I want, folks. So we're gonna keep trying. I don't know. This is probably the most perplexed I have been since we started this project. Because these are so pretty and I don't want to cover them up. But that doesn't look great. So stay tuned. We'll see what we can do. I have another update for you folks. So what I thought I wanted, I don't want. This is just a clear coat, no stain. And this is just a clear coat, no stain. And that is not gonna work. That just draws more attention to the contrast. And honestly, it brings out too much red in these floors. It almost looks like cedar. This is English chestnut. This is English chestnut with the polyurethane mixed in. So it's not as brown as this, but it's not as red as this. Now, this line is going to be here. It's just not gonna go away. So now my goal is to try to get this and all of this to work together in a color that's pretty. This still feels just a little bit too red for me, but this is too dark and that's just red. And that is not good. That with that is definitely a dud. All right, folks, I'm gonna say real quick before we fire up that sander, we tried a bunch. We have combined, we have tried a lot. This looks really dark on this video, but it actually doesn't look that dark in real life, and that's what we're leaning towards. This is also beautiful, but I think that this is the winner. I'm gonna sleep on it overnight, and we'll make the call next week. But now we gotta sand all this away. Meanwhile, downstairs, we are working away. We are doing our final coat on the walls on the first floor. We're still working on doors. We're patching doorknobs. I still have not told you guys about the doorknobs. I'll do that next week, I promise. We are knocking it out, folks. Knocking it out. So we are finishing up a Friday afternoon. We are doing the last of the painting on the majority of the ground floor. We're getting all that finished. We are also cleaning out. So like the wooden room was full of junk. Well, it's exciting. You know, you're kind of getting near the end when you start getting rid of stuff like fans and things that we just don't need, extra materials. So we're cleaning that up. We're gonna go put that in storage so that pretty soon we can start working on these floors on the ground floor. So, hey, I didn't even know we were gonna do floors this week, and we made a lot of progress on the third and the second floor, and I think we picked a stain. So that's what we're doing here, finishing up paint, working on floors. Come back next week. Who knows what's gonna be happening at the Hyatt house.